In this video, we will learn ClickUp's organizational hierarchy, how to create your first spaces and lists, assign and manage permissions for team members and guests, create and manage tasks, switch between various views, and use ClickUp's new AI feature, Brain, to create a knowledge base, write content, and more. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Onboarding and ClickUp's hierarchy. Sign up for ClickUp by clicking the link in the description and logging in with your Google account. It's that easy. And the best part, no credit card required. You'll go through a short onboarding process to customize your workspace. And when that's done, you'll end up on the home screen. Rather than giving you a detailed interface tour, we'll learn how to navigate it as we go. Instead, I'd like to talk about ClickUp's hierarchy. ClickUp's hierarchy is divided into 5 tiers. At the very top, you have your workspace. Most people only have one workspace, especially if you're a solo user or part of a small team. You can see the name of your workspace in the upper left corner of your screen, where mine says GV Marketing. Click on the name of your workspace, and you'll see the ability to create another one by pressing Create Workspace. Inside your workspaces, you have spaces. Think of spaces as major categories or departments, like marketing, operations, client work, or personal projects. Inside a space, you can have folders. Folders are optional, but they're useful for grouping related tasks. My company uses folders to store scripts at different stages of production. Next, you have lists. Think of lists as different categories of tasks. And finally, inside lists, you have tasks, or individual actions your team members need to take. Note, while there are also technically subtasks and checklists, this added layer of complexity isn't needed. Once a team member understands how to do their job, they'll complete subtasks and checklists automatically in their head. So the hierarchy goes: workspace, space, folder, list, task. If that sounds straightforward, that's because it is. Still, beginners often over-engineer their setup. I'll show you how to avoid that in the next section. Chapter 2. Creating your first space and lists. Let's create a space together. Click New Space. Give it a name. Let's call this Project Management and give it a simple description. I'll add, this is the space for all of our project management needs, discussions, and directives. I'll keep the permission as is and press Continue. Time to choose from an array of templates, and we'll keep it simple by going with the project management template. Select it and click Create Space. We already have a list inside the space, but I want to add another one. I'll do that by clicking the plus icon to the right of the space's name, selecting Create List, naming this list Brainstorming and Outreach, and clicking Create. Now, ClickUp will ask whether you want to apply the AI recommended settings to this list. You should, because it's easier to build from something rather than nothing. Click Apply Suggestions. Now, I'll go back and rename the other list. Hover your mouse over it, press the 3 dots to the right of it, and click Rename. I'll name it Website Redesign Projects. There we go. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about team permissions, especially if you're working with others. Chapter 3. Team Permissions Overview. ClickUp has different permission levels depending on whether someone is an owner, an admin, a member, or a guest. Owners and admins can manage settings, spaces, and permissions. Members can work on tasks and projects. Guests are in view-only mode by default and are ideal for clients. You can give them access to specific lists or folders without exposing your entire workspace. With the exception of individual tasks, permissions can be controlled at all levels of ClickUp's hierarchy. The flexibility of the permission structure is one of ClickUp's biggest strengths for teams and agencies with lots of moving parts. You can view your team members and change their permissions by clicking on your workspace's name in the upper left and selecting People. Once you start adding team members, you can look in the role column and, as owner, begin adjusting roles as necessary. You can change access to individual spaces, folders, and lists by hovering over their name, pressing the 3 dots, and opening Sharing and Permissions at the bottom. Now that you know how to grant permissions to your team members, we are ready to add tasks. Chapter 4. Task Management Basics. I'll open the Website Redesign Project list and press Add Task. I'll name it Design Homepage Layout. Now I'll hit Enter to save it, and then click its name to open an expanded view. In this menu, you can set a status, set a due date, add a time estimate, add a tag grouping to group similar tasks together, assign the task to yourself or a teammate, choose a priority level, track work time, add a description, upload a file, or create a subtask, and have a conversation with other team members in the activity feed to the right. Pro tip: always include as much information on this page as possible. Making sure everyone has access to the same information and is on the same page as early as possible will let you sidestep unnecessary bottlenecks and avoidable confusion. Now, before we move on, I would like to talk briefly about statuses. They are completely customizable under list settings. Open the list's settings and click on Task Statuses. Now you can change the name and color of your statuses to match your team's objectives or workflow. For example, my team uses topic, scripting, script ready, screencast, editing and thumbs, QA, and closed. The key, however, is to keep them consistent across your workspace so everyone understands what each status means. Now, let's take a look at ClickUp from a different angle. Chapter 5, Views. One of ClickUp's biggest strengths is the View feature, which enables individual team members to view the same data in different ways. For example, I'll open the Project Management space. Directly underneath the title, you can see all the different view options. From left to right, they are the List View, is great for detailed planning. The Board View provides a Kanban-style layout where tasks move across columns, enabling you to visualize each project's progress. The Calendar View lets you sort by deadlines. The Gantt View takes a different tack, letting you see how tasks are expected to interact with one another. In other words, this view helps you identify potential bottlenecks and lets you reshuffle tasks around accordingly. The important thing to understand is that views don't change the underlying data or how your team members see it. Each team member can adjust their views to suit their needs. Now, let's take a step back and talk about something very different. ClickUp Docs. Chapter 6, Docs. The main reason to use ClickUp Docs over something like Microsoft Word or Google Docs is that it can be linked directly with relevant tasks, and you can even create new subtasks from inside the document. Moreover, it offers all the functionality of Google Docs, letting your team members collaborate in real time without worrying about sharing links or a stable internet connection. You can use Docs for the usual day-to-day needs, such as taking meeting notes, storing standard operating procedures, SOPs, and documenting project requirements. Creating a doc is easy. Open More from the sidebar, select Docs, and click New Doc in the upper right. There you go. ClickUp Docs works very similarly to Google Docs, with one key exception. The toolbar, where you can change font size, style, etc., is not always visible. To access it, highlight the text you want to format, and the toolbar will pop up. As you can see, you can also leverage ClickUp's built-in AI by having it either improve or edit your work. Speaking of AI, let's talk about ClickUp Brain, the built-in AI assistant. Chapter 8, Brain. ClickUp Brain is designed to help you work faster by pulling information from your workspace and helping you create, summarize, and organize content without switching tools. Now, there are three main ways ClickUp Brain helps. First, AI knowledge. ClickUp Brain can answer questions about your workspace. For example, you can ask things like, what tasks are overdue? Or summarize this project. Instead of digging through lists and tasks, ClickUp Brain pulls that information for you instantly. AI knowledge goes deeper than this, however. You can have Brain memorize important company documents so it better understands your procedures, expectations, and goals. Here's how to create your AI knowledge base. Click on your account profile in the upper right corner and open Settings. On the left, select Imports Exports. Then click Documents. Okay, then I'll browse with the File Explorer, find a document named Writer's Guidelines, drag and drop it into place, and click Import. That will take a few seconds, and there we go. The document has been imported to the GV Marketing workspace and can now be referenced by the AI to answer questions. Let's test it out. I'll click on AI in the left sidebar, select Ask AI, and ask the following. How could I handle call to actions in a script? To get a specific, tailored answer, I'll click on All Sources and switch it to Docs. Now, Brain will only reference documents stored in the workspace. Let's see what the AI can do. This shouldn't take more than a couple of seconds. The bullet points closely resemble the uploaded document, with Brain even slightly expanding on the pre-existing material in some places. But that's not all Brain can do. There's also AI writing. We saw this in the previous chapter, where you could instruct the AI to rewrite text, shorten it, expand it, or change the tone. You could also ask Brain to draft content for your website, for a newsletter, just like you could ask ChatGPT. For example, I'll open the AI chat box again and ask, draft an outline for a blog post about YouTube tutorial creation. There we go. Not a bad starting point. Lastly, there are also AI actions. ClickUp Brain can help turn messy ideas into structured work. For example, you can ask the AI to turn vague ideas into a clear project outline with lists, tasks, and subtasks. This is great for planning new projects or organizing brainstorming sessions. If you're already using ClickUp daily, this is one of those features that quietly becomes hard to live without. All right, so I know that ClickUp can feel very overwhelming in the beginning, but don't worry, you just take it one step at a time and you will feel at home in no time. And if you haven't signed up to ClickUp just yet, make sure to click the link in the description of this video to help support the channel at no extra cost to you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.